hold on. I want to go back before we start talking about a couple of these games. Should the Giants go to Jackson Dart and should we just play first round quarterbacks immediately? Because I think we're speaking out of both sides of our mouth. I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about fans when it comes to quarterbacks and when we should play them and when we shouldn't. Where are you at on Russell Wilson and the Giants and going to Jackson Dart? And then you mentioned, should people just flat out start first round quarterbacks ASAP?
Well, that's what it seems like, right? It's almost like if you do start the guy, it's kind of like, all right, we're riding with this guy. We'll kind of see what happens. If you don't, it's just like a countdown until that guy starts, right? Like this is after week one. Obviously, Russell Wilson didn't play well, but we're already ready to bring in Jackson Dart. So it's almost like, look, if you're gonna do it, just do it. If not, shut it down completely. Like, don't leave
Right.
the door open. I think when they asked Dayball about it, he was very non-committal, and clearly Russ was
Sure.
going to start on Sunday. But it's like, yo, shut the door completely. You can always come back down the line and open it up, but shut the door completely or start the young guy. And I think we're almost at a point now where like the expectation is that these guys are going to start day one. So like, yeah, I was almost wanting to throw it back to you. Like, where are you on this whole thing? Like, if you're drafting a guy in those first 30 something picks, like, are you starting him from day one? Is it situational? Like, how do you handle that? Because I just think, like, no matter what it is, they have two veterans on that roster. They have Winston behind Russell Wilson. People forget. So you can't make the pivot to Winston. But I just feel like, look, you throw Dart in there, it sucks. You can't really come back from that.
I think throughout NFL history, first-year quarterbacks fresh out of college haven't played very well. And you need to have a ton of patience. And you're going to need to have a ton of patience in year two if they get the first year off. Like J.J. McCarthy, there's going to be times where it's like, this dude looks horrible, right? I think as a franchise, you need to have a plan and you need to stick to it and you need to ignore all the other noise. For example, it was really easy for the Vikings to sit J.J. McCarthy last year because they had a plan that they were going to play Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold was going to be good enough to make to keep them in contention and win a lot of games. And then next year, no matter what, we're going to go to J.J. McCarthy. That was clearly the plan in Minnesota. I don't think they were expecting to win 15 games.
Well, so was McCarthy never going to start or just because he got hurt?
So, I mean, look, Nick, have you ever heard of a guy missing an entire football season for a meniscus?
Yeah.
Like, it's clear to me that they're just like, we don't just, you sit back, learn. This is clearly a red shirt type of situation. You know, he's in the building every week. He's never out of the building. He's here all the time. He's
getting
what I mean?
mental reps.
Mental reps, you know what I mean? So, like, that was the situation. Now, when you're like the Chicago Bears and you have Justin Fields and you don't have a plan and Andy Dalton is getting snaps, then it's easy to succumb to that pressure or be under pressure all the time to get him out of the way, right? It's easy to transition to Pat Mahomes after year one when he sat behind Alex Smith, who was winning games. You get what I'm saying? So if you feel as if the guy you're drafting is going to need some time, you need to have a guy that could play well enough to keep it afloat. Russell Wilson from the start was never going to play well enough to keep things afloat enough to where you could fade the Jackson Dart talk every single week. And you need to be strong enough as a front office, as a coach, to know if he's ready or not. And if he's not, you just have to run Russell Wilson out there week in, week out, and essentially defend it and defend Jackson Dart and protect Jackson Dart. That's your job as the head coach. So Daboll and those guys are in an uphill battle because if they feel like Jackson's not ready, because from what I gather, Nick, these coaches know deep down if the guy's going to play well or not. Like,
for sure,
it's not a mystery that Caleb Williams had a stretch during that game where he didn't look very well. If you go back to what Ben Johnson has said multiple times throughout training camp was, we threw a lot at him. He's still trying to work through it.
Right.
He never sounded super comfortable about Caleb and coming into the year and off and running week one. So they know deep down, like, if this guy can play. All the other things start to come into play. Job security, the pressure from the front office, the ownership, pressure from fans. You have to be able to mitigate that and control it. And that's how you should approach the quarterback.